So after playing over 40 hours in Assassin's Creed Shadows, I got a lot to talk about. So today we're going to be diving into a mix of a review and also impression in which I'm going to go over the gameplay, story, graphics, performance, and also give you somewhat of a comparison to the previous Assassin's Creed games. Also, I just want to say thank you to Ubisoft for providing me with this code, so I'm able to provide you with this review. So let's get started. First of all, let's talk about gameplay. And we got two different type of playing styles here. We got Yasuke and we had Naoe. One is a pure samurai, where the other one is a very classic stealthy assassin and also a shinobi at the same time. What are the differences? It's a huge difference between both of them. Yasuke, it's all about heavy melee combat, blocking, parrying, and having a very OP type of armor that gives him the super edge over your enemy. That is how I can compare his playing style. If you ever play Sekiro, that is a good description of how Yasuke feels in Assassin's Creed Shadows. Now we got Naoe. Naoe is a very classic, very stealthy shinobi and assassin. She brings back what Assassin's Creed used to be. When I say used to be, I mean about the stealth mechanics, which they're able to blend the shadows, quick assassinations, and the different gadgets. And at her disposal, she is able to use pretty much all the entire skill trees that are within her playing style. And it is something I think that when I started playing the game, I was blown away because I didn't expect the game to be very flourished as I kept playing it. If I were to compare Shadows to Mirage, I could say Mirage was focused more on stealthy parkour and assassinations. Shadows, of course, it has the mix of stealth and full combat based on the characters. Mirage is going to force you to be a well-hidden assassin, while Shadows gives you the choice to fight head on or sneak around. It just depends on who you want to play as. And that is the great thing about this game. You have the best of the two worlds. If you want to go stealthy or you want to go mayhem, you have those two options on however you want to play. And you know how they say, don't judge the book by its cover? Well, I gotta be honest with you. I judged this book by its cover. I wasn't fond of Yasuke, but the more I played as him, the more I liked him. I liked his combat. I like his assassinations, chopping heads off, chopping arms off, breaking enemies in half. It just felt really good, and it felt that you were very, very powerful with his playing style, along with a different type of weapon that he has at his disposal. But now I felt like I needed to use all her 6 skill trees. That is the katana, the kurasingama, the tanto, her 2 different playing styles, and her tools, maximizing her stealth and also her combat. It just brought everything all in once you have the right combination. And don't worry, after playing so many hours, I have a video coming for you guys on how to get ready and how to use all your mastery points with Naoe and also with Yasuke. With Yasuke, I felt like the long katana along with the bow and his playing style as a samurai was enough for me. He was very powerful. He took down enemies very hard, very brutal, and overall gave you that satisfaction. So let's talk about the RPG elements and also the progression of the game. As Shadows, it's able to fully embrace the combat system that it is within the RPG progression system. You're going to take full advantage of the whole entire playing styles, all the different skill trees that you have, the abilities, the mastery points, everything comes together because you're going to need that to be able to gear up, upgrade your character, upgrade your gear, upgrade your weapon, in which is you're going to be able to upgrade your skills, and in which You are going to be leveling up because it is important as you are progressing to the game that you level up so you are always staying on top of your enemies besides being down on them. So it feels like the game does a well job. It gets you prepared as you are progressing to the game. Of course, there is tons of loot, legendary gear, epic gear, common, uncommon, and rare gear. So overall, Assassin's Creed Shadows does a well job on giving you a lot of loot, where the RPG elements were embraced by its mechanics. Now, if you were able to compare this to Mirage, Mirage had no RPG leveling to grinding. It was pure stealth and action game, where Shadow does retain those RPG elements, multiple builds, which I will be bringing to you guys, all the different type of legendary builds that I have lined up for you guys. It's just amazing the amount of content that I'm able to provide to you guys, because this is the type of game that allows you to provide that to you guys. You're going to be able to find all that gear, all those weapons, the different type of weapon varieties. I feel that it was a bit overwhelming, and I wish I had one more week to be able to provide this to you guys. Now let's talk about the open world design and exploration, because it is very, very important, because this is where sometimes the game either dies or stays alive. The Feudal Japan setting does feel very immersive. There are many quests that you're going to be able to go through, cities that you're going to be able to visit, like Kyoto, castles, villages, forests, you name it, it's there. And then we have dynamic weather, rain, fog, day-night cycle, snow, summer, you name it, it's there. You have 4 different seasons to choose from. And I do not want to spoil any story. That is why I'm not touching the story too much. But I do want to tell you that the weather system is something amazing to experience in the game. And I know you're asking yourself, do I have anything negative to talk about the game? Yes, of course. No game in this world is perfect. But I'll get to that right at the end of the video. Now, if we're able to compare this against Mirage, yes, Mirage did have a dense, tidy pack, Baghdad city that was focused a lot on parkour. Shadows, it's a very large open world. Riding on a horse while you're going through the different seasons, it is massive, and at the same time, very satisfying. Let's talk about the parkour and the movement, because we are an assassin, we are a shinobi, and at the same time, we're going to be a samurai. So we're going to be able to switch between the 2 different characters once you go into the open world. I'm not going to spoil anything further than that, but you're going to be able to do that not every moment, but whenever you're not in combat, you'll be able to switch from one to another, which it's very important to know, and to be able to choose the right character whenever you are going into a fight. That's the only tip I want to give you. Now, there were a few times, yes, the parkour felt a little clunky, kind of like Valhalla in a bit, but not to that extreme. I think they really redefined how the parkour feels. I felt very satisfied with Naoe going through buildings, climbing to the very highest top of the buildings, going around through the buildings, being very stealthy. It felt like a true assassin mixed with a shinobi, where you have the opposite. You have a samurai that is not as parkour, but it still has some elements as an assassin. Of course, as a samurai, you do have your assassination movement, in which at the same time when you do it, everyone in the whole entire world will know that you assassinated someone. Now, in regards to the story, the 2 different characters, besides what I said, I'm not going to spoil any story. Now, let's get into the story and the 2 different characters. Yes, Yasuke and Naoe do blend together in a way that is very interesting, because whenever you need a stealthy player, someone to get to the highest top of the building and get to a section where you where Yasuke can't get to, she'll be able to do it. Where the opposite is when the fight maybe gets too heavy, it gets too brutal, then you got Yasuke to step in and just take care of business. It's a well mix of how you want to play the game. Historically, accuracy, I really can't tell you much because I haven't studied Japan's history and how the samurais are. All I can tell you that in regards to the gameplay, I had a lot of fun. And I think as a gamer, I think that it is what you're looking for. In regards to that, I have enjoyed what I've played so far. Visually, graphics, performance, did I have any issues? I can tell you that out of 100%, I haven't had a single time that the game has crashed on me. Yes, I did have two particular scenes where it kind of like glitched me in a way where it was a rare moment, but out of 100%, I have to tell you that 99.9% of the time, I have experienced a good performance into the frame rates, not many bugs, which I was surprised, maybe because I was playing under the Ubisoft Connect. Maybe it was because of that. I don't know. But I do have to tell you that I've played other games on first day. They're very clunky. They started a lot. The graphics are not well performed. But in regards to Assassin's Creed Shadows, I do have to say that I was impressed. Maybe because they are on a next gen and they're taking advantage of the PlayStation 5, PlayStation 5 Pro, and also PC as well as the Xbox Series X. Maybe that's why. I don't know. So what about sound? As you guys know, sound is a very key thing in a game, such as like in a movie. If you don't have sound, the movie is boring. In regards to the game, if you don't have sound, the game becomes stale. And I felt soundtrack was pretty cool. Voice acting, I think it was very fun. It was well acted. All the characters between both of them, between Naoe and Yasuke, they had a good interaction in between each other. I think overall, I would have to give that a good maybe 8.5 out of 10. But overall, comparing it to previous Assassin's Creed games, I gotta give Shadows the upper hand. So what is my final verdict and what do I think about the game? Do I recommend it? Yes, I do recommend it. It was a very satisfying combat between being a stealthy and being a samurai. It's a very massive open world. It does have the two dual characters. And of course, the open world with the RPG mechanics do feel good. But at the same time, it could be a con against some of the veteran Assassin's Creed players where they don't want to see such an RPG mechanics. I personally think the RPG mechanics are fun, but it could be like too grindy for some, so that could be a negative. There is some sections where the open world may feel empty, but let's face it, it's in Japan during that time, so historically, you don't think there's going to be a lot of buildings everywhere, but you have the scenery and you have the different trees and you have the different weather seasons and different activities that make the game pretty full and keep you busy at all times. Yes, the AI was clunky at some times, but I gotta say, out of 100, maybe 90% was good. If you played Valhalla, if you played Odyssey, Shadow maintains and improves on that RPG element. It has a deeper combat style. It has more of a solid stealth mechanics, a good RPG mechanics. This is not what Shadows is. Shadow is about having an open world and going through the different type of towns, different type of locations, and experiencing a very vast open world with a good RPG mechanics. Overall, I think this is a solid 9 out of 10. Let me know in the comment section below what do you guys think if you played Assassin's Creed Shadows. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next video.